Today we're going to be playing some good old Herschelstone. Gotcha! Welcome to the 5th episode of Hypothermically Speaking, a series where we grab some hot cocoa, put on some ducky slippers, and chill with me while we talk about life. In the background we're going to have something a little different. Some Overwatch gameplay, and specifically just wall skating on Lucio. No specific paths, just sort of free skating around. The focus of this video was suggested by both Ninja Yama and Penlington, asking how I got into gaming, my first game ever, and basically everything that made me who I am today, at least gaming wise. Now my first real exposure to games is a little foggy because I'm not completely sure when I got started, but I have a few games that stick out to me and remember fondly. I actually have no idea how I even got my first system. Since I have two older brothers, it's safe to assume that they were a major factor as to why I even had a console in the house to play with, but the first system I ever had was a Sega Dreamcast. The most impactful game I had at the time was called Trickstyle. Trickstyle was an awesome futuristic hoverboard game that managed to combine racing and Tony Hawk style tricking together, and it was the perfect blend of that kind of game. It was amazing, and way ahead of its time in my opinion. Basically, if you perform tricks at certain points in the race, you get a speed boost and some swag points. It wasn't a showstopper game, and sales-wise it seems like it didn't do too well globally, but it was the earliest memory of a game that I have. I used to always play the light blue guy, no idea what his name was, but I loved him because he seemed to be like a showboat, cocky kind of guy, and I've always loved those kind of characters in games. Characters like Johnny Cage or Sonic the Hedgehog. Whenever you design a character using a mix of asshole, sarcasm, and comic relief, it's relatively guaranteed that I will fall in love with that character. At the time, we lived in Frisco, Texas, and we lived down the street from my best friend Paxton. Paxton, at least from what I remember, was from a well-off family living in a big house, so we had a lot of video game systems, and I loved to go over and mooch off of him and hang out. We used to play a fuck ton of Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and I loved that game. Despite not knowing dog shit about the story, I just thought dinosaurs were sick as hell. He also had a PlayStation 1, and I would mooch off him to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Right as I got a little taste of Super Smash Bros., I remember like not even a month later we ended up moving away. And I never talked to Paxton, I never kept up with him, and I haven't talked to him since. I have no idea what he's up to now, but moving forward, we left from there. And I packed up my Sega Dreamcast and took it with me. We moved away to Manchester, Connecticut, and I spent majority of my free time playing Sonic Adventure, Rayman, Hydro Thunder, Metal Gear Solid, and even got my hands on a Resident Evil game, which is a big deal at the time because I was a youngin' and my parents were religious. They strictly forbade me from playing that game. It was only a free trial though, but I would replay that trial plenty of times just to get a taste of what I'm missing. I remember my parents leaving for a few hours and running to my brother's room to get the Resident Evil trial. Eventually my parents forgot the game even existed, and I played it whenever I wanted. It was right before kindergarten when my mom, who at the time worked as a bus driver, would bring me along with her on her bus trips morning to lunch, every single day. She drove a bus and picked up kids for elementary schools, middle schools, and some high school field trips, actually. I would join her on these trips because I was young as shit, and my parents, mainly my mom, couldn't leave me at home because she was scared I would die. And knowing me, probably would have choked and died or something stupid. Regardless, I was forced to go on these morning bus trips, sit next to some weird kids way older than me, and I would have no real reason to be there. I was relatively fine with it though, and I had fun talking with kids and goofing around and playing with the other bus kids in the mornings, but for most of the time during the rides on the bus, I was relatively bored. I would spend most of my bus time imagining weird superheroes, game ideas, stories, you know. Imagination. This was around the time that Pokemon Yellow came out for Game Boy. I begged my mom like crazy, and my final convincing factor was that I could use it while on the bus and I wouldn't be bored. Because it was so dirt cheap compared to video game systems, and the potential use of the gameplay and how annoying I could be when I was bored stiff, my mom bought my first gameplay, which was amazing. And yes, it was the original gray, blocky Game Boy. I even got the funky lighted up attachment that came with it. I played a fuckload of Pokemon, Kirby, Tetris, Dr. Mario, and Donkey Kong, as well as one of my favorite games of all time, King of Fighters 95. Everything about King of Fighters 95 was fucking amazing. You can sit down even now, listen to the King of Fighters soundtrack. That soundtrack, grade 8 point eargasm. It's so good. It's very 90s, but it's good. Everything about King of Fighters though, the fighters, the fighting style, everything about that's what first got me my first taste of fighting games, and I appreciate it, and it what led me into getting really into Mortal Kombat later on in my high school years. But we're still staying in this time loop, so let's stay focused. I lived in Manchester, Connecticut and continued playing games, making friends with other gamers along the way, playing my Game Boy on field trips when I had to with my mom, but eventually I got into kindergarten and then I continued, you know, to meet more people, hang out with fellow gamers, fellow gamers, and I would hang out, you know, and meet new people and make new friends. I tried my best to make friends that played games because, you know, mutual mooching. Along with that, I did my best to save my allowance and eventually, along with some help from parents, I bought a PlayStation 2, which just came out. It was really recent at the time. I was about 9 or 10 when I got my PS2 and spent most of my free time playing games. I would go to school, play baseball, hang out with school buddies, and go home and play my PS2 as much as I could. Through school and church, I became close friends with Michael, Barry, and Justin, who became my best friends throughout my stay in Connecticut. During the time, I played every PS2 GTA title and spent most of my time on Vice City turning my tank head around and shooting tank shots behind me to send my tank flying in the air like a fucking plane. Goddamn brilliance at work. That game is amazing. Probably one of the longest standing greatest GTA games of all time. I've enjoyed a lot of GTA games, but GTA Vice City, oh, such a good game. I played other games like Need for Speed, Twisted Metal, Mortal Kombat. I had a computer, but it was crappy and not my own, and at the time I could only occasionally play RuneScape on my mom's computer from time to time, whenever she let me. Also on the weekends I would head over to Michael's house to play Revolt on PC. Revolt was an amazing as fuck RC car racing game that has remarkable replayability even today. If you're looking for some grade A gameplay in early 2000s games, check this game out. It actually still has a small niche gaming community with mods, maps, and special cars, and you can even play online with other people. It's a little bit of a setup, but it's pretty damn awesome. My personal main time filler was hands down Star Wars Battlefront 2 though. I never played the first one until years later, but Battlefront kept me busy a majority of my free time. My buddy Mike would come over and we would fight all the time on Tatooine, you know, good versus evil, evil versus good, you know, just dueling the fuck out of each other. I would play the hell out of Darth Maul 24/7, but I love Battlefield so much, and it led me straight into the world of shooters eventually. Later I picked up Call of Duty, CSGO, Overwatch, and I consider Star Wars Battlefront the gateway drug to my FPS love. Along with these games, I have to talk about one of my favorite games of all time, and it was even on a system I didn't even own at first. I would hang out with my buddies and go way out of my way just to play this damn game. And you already know, it's your boy, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Oh, such a great game. Such a fucking amazing game. We know it's aged well because it has a pro scene around it. This is such a great game. I'll chill out now. Anyway. I would go out of my way all the time to play this game and spent months of time at my buddy Barry or Justin's house playing Smash. Eventually I was so hyped and pulled in by Super Smash Bros. I caved in and bought my own GameCube and played Smash 24/7. It quickly replaced my Battlefield 2 obsession and I was hooked. We would have tournaments and spend tons of our free time sparring and training on one another, doing our best to get better and better. We each had our own sort of like niche picks and like our own kind of identity kind of thing. It was really cool. I played Dr. Mario, Roy, and Fox mainly.
That ain't Falco!
I would also run over to Barry's house and play some N64 Smash Bros. Since I never actually owned an N64, but played one every chance I got. Even now, looking back on these times, I feel super happy and I have many precious moments playing Smash and hanging out with these guys. I miss them all a fuckload, and they make up a ton of my childhood memories. Which, by the way, Barry's song is the background music for this video, so fucking cool. Regardless, Mike, Justin, Barry, it's been a long time, but I love you guys. Hope you're doing alright. Sadly, all things come to an end, and I eventually moved away after grade 6 to Houston, Texas, later getting into COD, Mortal Kombat, World of Warcraft, and so on. This is all relatively sums up how I made my first few steps into gaming, and what led me into games I play now. And although I have spent countless hours playing games with myself, unlocking achievements, experiencing great stories, and equally amazing characters, gaming has always been about pulling people together and enjoying a source of entertainment with other people who share the same interests as me, and others around them. And that's the reason I make these videos. That's a part of the reason at least. I want to share my experiences, my funny jokes, my good times, and fun gameplay with you guys. Maybe together in the process we can form a cool ass community, and so far it's working well, you know, we're growing every single time, we're getting views, we're getting subs, like, it's pretty damn cool and it's exciting to see, and I hope it continues to grow. And I hope you guys stick around. I like seeing the familiar names, I like chatting with you guys. I spend a fair amount of time chatting with you guys, that's for sure. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to suggest a topic for the next Hypothermically Speaking, or check out past subjects we've already covered. Check the Hypothermically Speaking playlist on my channel too, bro. There's 5 videos, go check them. Ask a vague topic or something specific, or even ask my opinion on Black Lives Matter, politics, or anything else in the world or beyond our world. Regardless, guys, that's my time. Click, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. And remember, To spot a glacier, you have to have good eyesight. Like eyesight, but ice? Like eyesight? Because I'm hypothermic, cold stuff. Okay, well, I'll see myself out. Peace.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in axe and sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my gat? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest, cause niggas is a mess. It don't take nothing but frontin' for me to start something. Bugging and bugging.
Check this out.
Alright. Holy shit. This is a little nauseating. Yeah. It's cool, but it's just sort of... Yeah, I can't keep doing this. This is a little weird. It just doesn't feel right. It makes my gut feel funny. Yeah, this is nauseating as fuck. Fuck this shit, dude. Fuck that.
Give yourself to the